everyone. Welcome back to the layout, the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston Subdivision in HO Scale. My name is Daryl Cruz, owner and builder of the layout, and your host for episode 3 of season 2024. It's been a great year so far, very cold outside, but still was able to get some pretty cool work done on the layout. I am preparing for my trip to Amherst trade show with Lombard Hobbies. Check it out. Come by and see us if you plan on going next week. It's the 27th and 28th, I think. But I'll be there. Looking forward to that. Was able to get some stuff done here on the layout. Before we get to that, though, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications. Was planning on doing some mountain work at the Aspen Tunnels, but we had some winter weather. Here's my sidewalk. You can see we got about 12 inches or so of snow, and it was very, very cold. It's down to minus 15, I think, is the low as it got, which made it dry in my house, even though I have a humidifier. Got down to 35% humidity. Without the humidifier, probably we got down to 7%. Now you can see there's some warpage there going on. I had a couple of places, this is pretty serious here, a couple of places where the because of the shrinkage had some warpage of track. So I actually spent quite a bit of time this last week, time that would have been spent on doing the the Aspen Tunnels. Well, I'm not sure why I keep saying Peru, but anyway, the Aspen Tunnels. Didn't get to that. Spent a lot of time on this instead. And the shrinkage does not take place in the plywood. I think it's the 1x4s that are the framework for the layout. Now here's I don't know if you can tell or not, but the cement hoppers, the track is kind of on a hump. You can see the second cement hopper there is on a little bit of a hump. You can definitely tell it more so when you're at the layout. Can't really tell too much here, but that definitely was an issue. Here you can see underneath the layout. Again, the 1x4s are the ones that I think actually shrink. Plywood is actually pretty stable, but you can see I didn't have it screwed down all the way across. And you can see it kind of came up a little bit, and basically was able to take care of it pretty easily just by adding a few more screws. Here you can see it's not a hump at all, and if you look closely you can see I did screw in to through the ballast and through the plywood down into the joint there and brought it back down. So all of these were pretty easily solved. It just took some time and some working to kind of get things taken care of. Here for the warpage, I don't know if you can see here very clearly, but I slid the rail jointers to the left here so that the joint was free. So both rail jointers are slid to the left so that the two pieces now are not connected, and you can see they're still right up against each other, and definitely causing some issue. And again, it's 1x4s, in this case the 1x2s. Anyway, I took my Dremel tool and basically just cut it a gap there. Now when I push it back down again, it actually came together, so there's a bit of a gap there. Once I slid the rail jointers back in and spiked the track back down again, everything was pretty cool. I did get some modeling here done yet. This is the flyover from Evanston Yard over the staging yard into the upper level, and I used a Rick's Models overpass here. This is the wrought iron one. It's kind of more of a vintage look, but Evanston's a pretty old place if you've ever been there, so I think it fits in pretty well. But this is definitely one of the ways I like to cover or hide holes through a wall. So I got the backdrop up and everything last week. So this is kind of what it looks like going from the Evanston yard area and then through the furnace room and onto the second level. The Aspen tunnels are just beyond this point here. Now, I am going to add a tree there on the very left of the overpass. I have some bushes in there, but they're not tall enough. I want to put in a pretty tall tree. Maybe I think I'm going to try and get some evergreen trees, but I basically want to hide the bridge going into the sky, the blue sky there. So I'm going to put in some evergreen trees there to kind of hide that so that you cannot see it going into the backdrop. But it definitely is a good way of hiding track going from one room into the next. And I was able to get the backdrop to kind of lay down smoothly and so forth so that there's not the shadows and so forth. Now, I also received from Lombard Hobbies this Walther's kit that is some solar panels and electrical cabinets that they have outside of tunnels. I think that's to provide power for ventilation. Here you can see the electrical electrical cabinets at the PTC antenna. This is a like 4 sets of doors. But anyway, I was wanted to put that solar panel and electrical equipment at the tunnels. And before I did that, though, I been wanting to redo this road. I had put down some brown ballast for this maintenance road, and it just didn't look right. Didn't fit in with the actual scenery and didn't fit with the photographs that I had. So when I build this mountain sections, I try to plan for maintenance yards. So there you can see the trailer house that's in there, and I basically removed all the brown with a vacuum cleaner. Didn't get all of it up, but just got a lot of it up. I did not glue it down, and instead of the brown, I put in some buff ballast. This is again by Woodland Scenics, and you can see it just the buff definitely fits in a lot better with the scenery. And if you look at the satellite photographs of the maintenance roads, the buff is more in line with the actual color of the maintenance road. So it goes from all the way down from that little overpass and comes into this area. And from here, the road goes off the layout. I was going to go down, try to figure out a road that goes along the tracks, but instead I decided to have it go off the layout, and then so that would go here, which you can't see because it's off layout, and then it comes back in at this part here and then goes across. I'm going to be putting crossings in all these different locations. I think there's like 5 or 6 different locations, and it's going to go basically all along the whole entire route. It's going to go, now I ran out of ballast, that's why it stops here, but it's going to continue up to where the 2 tracks come together here, and then it's going to come over here, and I'll make a way to have the road go all the way along here, and then it'll tie into the UTLX area here. This is all going to be some ballast, and then again off layout, and then back on the layout, another crossing, and then down the road into Evanston. Now, it was, as you notice, the color was too bright and too much just one color, so I added some additional ballast here. I used the blend of 50% brown, 50% gray that I used for the Evanston yard. And I took that and I just basically sprinkled it lightly onto the buff so that it wasn't just one solid color of buff. Instead, you have the brown and gray mixed in with it, and you can see it definitely tones it down a little bit, gives a little bit more variety of color. That's one thing with scenery. You don't really want to have very many areas where it's just all one single solid color. So sprinkling that on there throughout definitely made a difference. I added even more here. There's going to be a girder there, a plate girder bridge. And I did get a trailer house. This is by Alice. They just came out with these. There is an actual, on the prototype, there is a trailer house there. Of course, there's going to be a fence and some junk and so forth. This part of the country, by the way, has a lot of junk cars just laying around in the mountains. In fact, close to this area here, there's like a junkyard where you have probably 30 cars just sitting in on the hillside. So I'm going to try and replicate that. And I'm going to try and get the maintenance road to continue in that direction. Also, it's going to go through past the trailer house there and then on through all the different areas. Now here I have it glued down. I sprayed it with some water and then added some diluted white glue, 50% Elmer's glue, 50% water. And it makes it a lot darker as you go through. And here you can see again all the different, it's darker, and then it's also different colors. There's the solar panels. I put a little footpath so that the maintenance crews can get down to the other track. And then all through here. Looks pretty cool. It definitely looks better, I think, with this color. And I'm glad that it's all glued down now, too. I'm going to try and get some pickup trucks. What I need is some Union Pacific pickup trucks. I think Atlas makes them, but I haven't seen any available lately. Hoping they're going to come out again. So turned out pretty good. Was happy with the way that all looked. Here we're back at the overpass. Go ahead and take a look at the excursion train going through. I picked up 3 more excursion cars from Lombard Hobbies. So I have 10 altogether right now. And as you notice, I have the American flag one. I always wanted to get that one. I like that one quite a bit. And then I also got another dome car and a couple of coaches. So the one thing I am missing is a big boy. And Riverosi's coming out with theirs, I think, in February sometime. And I think Broadway Limited Imports, BLW or BLI, is coming out with theirs again in March, I believe. So I'm going to be trying to get one of those. I haven't really decided which one yet. You might, if you have any comments on what you think it should be, please be sure to share them. The Riverosi is a lot less expensive. I think I could pick it up from Lombard Hobbies for around $400 or something, $400 and $500. The Broadway Limited one is like retails for like $850. So if I pick that one up, it's probably going to be in the 600s. So I think the Broadway Limited one is going to be probably more detail, and it's got the smoke The River Osi has the ESU lockdown decoders, which I think is supposed to be better. So, not sure which one I'm going to get, but eventually I'm going to have a double-headed and then a diesel locomotive in there. I have the 4015 that's used with excursion trains. Here you kind of see it going down the Wasatch grade as a freight train comes up the grade. Kind of see how it looks with the new layout of the maintenance roads. Definitely a big improvement. Solar panels there to power the ventilation for the tunnels and the maintenance road over the mountain. And here we have them crossing at Curvo. For an operating session on February 3rd, I'm going to have a friend that's bringing his big boy, so look forward to that. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Take care. Hope to see you at Amherst this upcoming weekend. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.